Chapter 1, Crossing the Holy Soul Village. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Douluo Star, Douluo Continent, Fasno Province, Holy Soul Village. Wang Xiaofei is a 6-year-old child, sitting bored at the door of his house, waiting for his grandfather, Old Jack, to come back. After a while, Old Jack came back. Xiaofei, there are delicious foods today, look what I bought. That he opened the package and found that it was a roast chicken, and he immediately felt his mouth water. In fact, Xiaofei is an orphan. 4 years ago, Xiaofei's parents had died. Xiaofei's father went into the mountains to hunt, and then disappeared. He did not come out. Xiaofei's mother had been waiting for her father anxiously, but she died of depression in less than half a year. Before her death, she entrusted Xiaofei to Old Jack. Old Jack saw that Xiaofei was lonely, so he adopted Wang Xiaofei. Now Xiaofei and Old Jack depend on each other. In fact, no one knows that Wang Xiaofei is actually a time traveler. He is nearly 30 years old and has achieved nothing. He happened to be watching a movie in the dormitory that day, and he kicked the kettle away in excitement. When he woke up, he had come to this world. At first, I didn't know where this place was. One time, when I saw someone hoeing the ground, suddenly, an illusory hoe appeared in his left hand, and the hoeing speed was very fast. It looked a little familiar, and some people directly turned into a sickle and cut the grass very fast. Xiaofei felt that he seemed to have entered a fantasy world, until one day, he went to the city with Old Jack and saw 2 people fighting. One turned into a bear and the other held a kitchen knife. Both of them had a white circle on their bodies. Xiaofei realized that this might be a journey through the Douluo Continent. Xiaofei likes to read this novel very much, and the animation is also chasing episode by episode. At first, I felt very addicted and very exciting. But when I read this novel again, I felt that many things were unreasonable. Tang Buddha was infinitely open, the villains were repeatedly reduced in intelligence, and many things about human nature were terrifying. The Wuhuan Hall and the 2 empires represent 2 different classes and different concepts. In this fantasy world, the aristocracy finally won, and many ideas also felt very backward. As a traverser, Xiaofei is most concerned about his awakened martial soul and innate soul power. As we all know, Douluo Continent is a fantasy sewer, and it can also be called the Bloodline Continent. As a civilian, there is no value in survival. It can be said that soul masters are nobles, and civilians may not even be as good as grass. Xiaofei has also read a lot of fan fiction. Many people are intercepting Xiaowu, punching Tang Hao, kicking Tang San, hugging kittens on the left, hugging little witches on the right, marrying little angels, and hooking up with mother-in-law, but in reality, Xiaofei, who has lived for a few years, understands that sometimes the gap between people in Douluo Continent is greater than the gap between people and dogs. Not to mention the simplest interception of Xiaowu, it is estimated that Tang Hao will be killed by a hammer before he starts to intercept. As for other people, if you don't have absolute talent and your strength far exceeds that of your peers, it is estimated that people will not even pay attention to you. Don't you see that Ning Fengji of the 7 Treasures Glazed sect is Qian Renshua's master? Usually, they are a pair of teachers and students with deep affection. Ning Fengji also taught Qian Renshua a lot of things. As a result, he stabbed her in the back in a blink of an eye. While 40% of the 7 Treasures Glazed sect members were out doing business, he sent 10,000 troops to surround the 7 Treasures Glazed sect. If you want to talk about the information of the 7 Treasures Glazed sect personnel, the Wuhuan Hall personnel ran to the 7 Treasures Glazed sect without being discovered and completed the encirclement. Without Qian Renshua's planning, it would not be completed. As for the other personnel, it is estimated that one is more difficult than the other. The only one who may be relatively easy to deal with is Ning Rongrong. After all, he is the one with the least social experience among all people. If you want to achieve a little bit of success in Douluo Continent, you have to work hard. So from the age of 4, Xiaofei began to exercise himself. In the previous life, he had no experience in martial arts, and he did not come from the martial arts world like Tang Fozu, and he did not know any internal skills, so he could only do simple personal exercises. Running, frog jumps, push-ups, sit-ups, etc., all the fitness in the previous life are done. Xiaofei would occasionally take a bow and arrow to the surrounding hills to hunt rabbits, pheasants, and the like. In Xiaofei's eyes, eating well and exercising more can make the body stronger. Old Jack also particularly supports him in this regard. Moreover, as the village chief, Old Jack has a relatively good life, and from time to time he would give Xiaofei some roasted chicken and pork. In short, in the Holy Soul Village, Xiaofei's life and food should be the best, so among his peers, Xiaofei is obviously half a head taller than others and much stronger than others. As for Tang San from the same village, Xiaofei did not think about making friends, but he always felt that Tang San seemed to be very resistant to socializing. He had a cold face all day long, and he didn't look like a 6-year-old child at all. Moreover, Tang San always liked to run to the hills behind. If he rashly followed him, he was afraid that he would lead to death, and there was also a Tang Hao in the village. Xiaofei did not think about practicing swords, guns, sticks, and the like, but after careful consideration, he seemed to know nothing about all weapons. The only thing he knew a little about might be boxing or sanda. It was more convenient to just get a sandbag and hit it. It seems that he has to play with sandbags for a while every day. The only thing he is looking forward to is the awakening of his martial soul. That day, Old Jack said to Xiaofei, "Xiaofei, Master Su Yuntao from the Wuhuan Hall will come to awaken our martial souls in 3 days. You should pay attention to your mental state and don't make yourself too tired or hurt yourself." After that, Old Jack took Xiaofei and notified every family in the village who had children of the same age. Xiaofei has been nervous these days, fearing that he would awaken a poor martial soul or have no innate soul power, and then he could only farm in the village. Old Jack didn't take it seriously, saying that if Xiaofei didn't awaken his soul power, he would stay in the village and inherit his position as village chief, which made Xiaofei smile bitterly. It was a disgrace for a time traveler to become the village chief of the Holy Soul Village. Chapter 2, Soul Awakening. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. With Xiaofei's expectation, 3 days passed quickly. 3 days later, in addition to the village chief Jack and the 9 children who had arrived, there was also a young man in the Wuhuan Hall. This man looked to be in his 20s, with sharp eyebrows and starry eyes, and a very handsome appearance. Wearing a white outfit with a black cloak on the back, there is a fist-sized soul character in the center of the chest. This is the standard attire for personnel directly under the Wuhuan Palace. On the left chest, there is a badge engraved with a long sword. There are 3 long swords intertwined on the badge. People like Old Jack who are very familiar with Soul Masters know that the number of 3 handles represents the Soul Master's 3rd-level title of Great Soul Master, and the long sword represents that the deacon from Wuhuan Palace is a warrior. Soul Master. "Hello, respected Spirit Master, I'm going to trouble you this time." Old Jack saluted the young man respectfully. There was a touch of pride in the young man's eyebrows, and he bowed slightly in return. "I don't have much time, let's start now." Old Jack said, "Okay. Children, this is from the Fighting Soul Master of Nodding City. Next, he will lead you to activate your own martial soul. You must cooperate with the Master to awaken the martial soul. Grandpa hopes that some of you can become Soul Masters." The young man said impatiently, "Okay, you said the same thing last year. Is it really that easy to become a Soul Master? I have been through 6 villages, and there is not a single person with soul power. There is no suitable person." Wuhuan. Xiaofei has been secretly paying attention to this young man. This is the legendary Su Yuntao, known as Blind Douluo. An iconic figure in the eyes of countless time travelers, witnessing the rise of the Tang Xiaosan. The young man's eyes fell on the 8 children in front of him. As the patrol deacon of Wuhuan Hall, it was his necessary job to help ordinary people awaken their Wuhuan, and he had long been accustomed to it. "Children, stand in a row." His attitude towards these children was much gentler. The 9 children stood still in front of the young man. Tang San stood at the second to last, and Xiaofei stood at the last on purpose. There are 2 main thoughts. On the one hand, I want to take a closer look at Tang San's martial soul awakening. Is it really like in the original work? On the one hand, I feel that I have the best physical fitness and the tallest among all the people, so I should make my final appearance. In my own memory, the protagonist is always the last one to appear. I'll be the protagonist. The young man smiled and said, "My name is Su Yuntao, a 26th level Great Soul Master, and I am your leader. Now, I will awaken your martial souls one by one. Remember, no matter what happens, don't be afraid." While talking, Su Yuntao opened his package on the table nearby and took out two things from it, 6 round black stones and a shining blue crystal ball. Su Yuntao arranged 6 black stones into a hexagon on the ground, and then motioned to the first child on the right to stand in it. "Don't be afraid, close your eyes and feel carefully." As he spoke, Su Yuntao's eyes suddenly lit up. In the horrified eyes of the children, he shouted, "Lone wolf, possessed." A faint ray of light, the green light, was first released from the center of his eyebrows, followed the position of his eyebrows, and went up into the bun. Su Yuntao's hair was originally black, but after the green light was injected into it, it instantly turned gray and quickly grew longer. Hair of the same color appeared on his exposed hands. At the same time, his body seemed to much larger than before. The whole body is full of muscles. Wahundian's specific clothing is very elastic and does not burst as his size increases. Su Yuntao's eyes had turned faint green, and the sharp claws protruding from the fingers of his hands shone with a faint cold light. 2 rings of light lit up from under his feet, constantly hovering from his feet to the top of his head. One of them is white and the other is yellow, which is particularly weird. The boy he called into the black stone was a boy. Seeing the changes in Su Yuntao's body, he suddenly screamed, "Ah," and was about to run away in fear. The green light in Su Yuntao's eyes was really scary. He grabbed the child and said, "Don't move. I told you not to be afraid. This is my martial spirit, Lone Wolf. If any of you can become a spirit master in the future, you will also use it." Same ability. Everyone was frightened by Su Yuntao. After all, as a rural child, he was still very afraid of wolves. Xiaofei looked at Su Yuntao carefully. His body had transformed into a wolf. It was a bit like the transformation in the novel. It should have some wolf characteristics, such as physical fitness, speed, defense, etc. Could this be the advantage of the beast spirit? In the early stage, the body is possessed by a martial spirit, giving the body some of the advantages of a beast. Su Yuntao quickly shot out with both hands, and 6 faint green lights were injected into the 6 black stones on the ground. Suddenly, a layer of golden brilliance was released from the 6 stones, forming a light golden mask, covering the child from before. "Stretch out your right hand." Su Yuntao stared at the boy with his green eyes and commanded majestically. The boy subconsciously stretched out his right hand. Suddenly, all the light spots rushed out. In an instant, a sickle appeared in his palm. It seems that the sickle is not an illusion of light and shadow, but a real existence. Su Yuntao frowned. "It's a weapon spirit. Can the sickle be used as a weapon? It should be forced. Put your right hand on the crystal stone to see if you have innate soul power." The boy followed the instructions and put his hand on the crystal stone, but the crystal stone did not light up. Without innate soul power, you cannot become a soul master. The child looked disappointed. 7 children were tested in this way, and the result was that they all had no innate soul power. Until he reached the 8th Tang San, Xiaofei looked excited and wanted to see if he could witness the beginning of his rise. Sure enough, as the original work said, what Tang San awakened in his right hand was an ordinary blue-silver grass. There was almost nothing strange about it, but it was held tightly in his left hand. Seeing that it was a blue-silver grass, Su Yuntao looked disappointed. This is the blue-silver grass martial spirit. It is a standard useless martial spirit and has the highest proportion of useless martial spirits in Douluo Continent. Basically, there are no soul masters possible. At Tang San's repeated requests, Su Yuntao tested Tang San's innate soul power. "I saw the crystal ball shining like a gem, and the whole crystal ball was full of luster. Su Yuntao's face was shocked. He was actually born with full soul power. This is the first time I have encountered full innate soul power in so many years of work. It's a pity. Thinking that Tang San's martial spirit was blue silver grass, Su Yuntao looked disappointed. Finally it was Xiaofei's turn. Xiaofei stood among the 6 black stones. As Su Yuntao's soul power was injected into him, Xiaofei felt his whole body warm, and then a bunch of flames came out of his body, and then a fire appeared in his field of vision. A bird covered in flames. If you look closely, isn't this the fire phoenix of Ma Hongjun from Shrek's 7 Monsters? It's just that Xiaofei has always felt strange. He feels something is wrong with him. His right hand always feels weird. The flame bird, it's actually the flame bird, a very good beast martial spirit. Su Yuntao looked excited. Xiaofei rolled his eyes at Su Yuntao. What kind of eyes is this? Fire Phoenix can be seen as a flame bird. He is worthy of being the king of blind eyes. Come, test your innate soul power. Xiaofei followed the instructions and put his hand on the crystal ball. The crystal ball shone, but the brightness was obviously lower than that of Tang San. The innate soul power is at level 8. He can become a soul master and has huge potential. In Su Yuntao's memory, Xiaofei should be the one with the highest innate soul power he had encountered besides Tang San. Hello, Xiaofei, my name is Su Yuntao, and I am the deacon of Wuhuan Palace. Are you interested in coming to our Wuhuan Palace Academy? You will receive the best training. Xiaofei looked hesitant. I'm sorry, Master Su Yuntao, I have to ask my grandfather. There are only 2 people in my family. I want to study in Nodding City first, and then join the Spirit Hall when I grow up. Xiaofei has nothing against Wuhuan Palace, but the teaching within Wuhuan Palace is relatively standardized and is not suitable for the training of an individual, and the people trained are relatively streamlined and have basically no special performance. The martial arts in the original work Soul Palace Academy, among the 7 who finally faced Early Eye. Except for the 3 members of the Golden Generation, the others basically had no outstanding performance. As a soul sect over level 45, he is higher than everyone else in Shrek, and his performance is worse than the last one. Even Hu Laina and Xia Yu's performance was mediocre, with no outstanding personal abilities at all. The 2 people's martial soul fusion skills actually fell into a duel with Tang San. It was equivalent to Tang San restraining the 2 soul kings by himself. Their performance was really good. Disappoint others. The only one who stood out was Yen, who showed off his defense and burst, but was beaten by a group of people. Furthermore, there are so many opportunities in Douluo Continent. By joining the Spirit Hall, wouldn't all the opportunities be wasted? Xiaofei doesn't think he can surpass level 45 at the age of 14. The innate soul power is level 8, which is generally lower than Shrek's. Su Yuntao led Xiaofei and Tang San to Old Jack. Old Jack greeted Su Yuntao with a nervous look on his face. Master, how are you? Is it possible for the children in our village to become soul masters this year? Su Yuntao looked excited. 2 of them have awakened their innate soul power. From Tang San, who was born with full soul power, but unfortunately it was Lan Yinchao who was a waste martial soul, and there is Wang Xiaofei, who awakened the flame bird martial soul and has innate soul power. At level 8, he has great development prospects, but it's a pity that he doesn't want to go to Wuhundian Academy with me and has to stay at home. Su Yuntao knew that Xiaofei was the grandson of Old Jack, and had been persuading Old Jack to let Xiaofei go to Wuhundian Academy. Old Jack knew that Xiaofei had his own ideas, and told Su Yuntao that he might have to wait until he graduated from junior college before going to Wuhundian Academy. What happened was that Su Yuntao looked disappointed. After returning home, Old Jack asked after confirming that there were only 2 of them, Xiaofei, why don't you want to go to Wuhundian Academy? For us civilian soul masters, Wuhundian Academy is the fairest and has the best environment. Xiaofei expressed his thoughts. Wuhundian Academy will indeed be better at the beginning. The internal competition is too fierce and is not suitable for the development of a single person. I have some other ideas and goals. In Wuhundian Academy, Temple Academy cannot be completed. In fact, there is one more thing that has not been mentioned, that is, I don't want to work under Bibi Dong, a crazy woman. If it weren't for Bibi Dong's repeated foolishness in the original work, Shrek would not be able to develop at all. For the sake of your own life, you should stay away from brain damage and cherish life. Back in his small room, Xiaofei summoned his martial spirit, but felt something was strange. First, after summoning my fire phoenix spirit, I always felt that my flames were not very pure. I felt that there were impurities in my phoenix flames, and there seemed to be quite a few impurities. This is probably the evil fire in Ma Hongjun in the original work. His innate soul power is one level lower than Ma Hongjun's. I am afraid that the problem of evil fire will be more serious. If you want to continue practicing, you must first find a way to restrain your own evil fire. Another point is that Xiaofei always feels as if he has two martial arts souls, but Xiaofei seems to be unable to discover the other one. He always feels that something is wrong with his body, and his right hand does not seem to integrate into the whole body. The original work is very detailed, and some parts here are borrowed from the original work. It can also be regarded as respect for the original work. Chapter 3, Alternative Twin Martial Spirits. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. 3 months have passed in the blink of an eye. Xiaofei has 3 main tasks recently. First, Xiaofei still insists on exercising every day. As a soul master, the body is the capital of the revolution, and everything is based on the body. The higher the quality, the greater the benefits, whether it is the absorption of soul rings or fighting. Second, since Xiaofei's martial soul is the fire phoenix, Xiaofei runs to Tang Hao's blacksmith shop from time to time. It is the best place for fire elements in the whole village. Although there is no soul power training method, Xiaofei feels that there is a good degree of intimacy there. Through the understanding of the original work, Xiaofei thinks that this is probably the best mimicry environment for fire element practitioners. Tang Hao also knows Xiaofei. He knows that Xiaofei is the grandson of Old Jack and has awakened the flame bird martial soul. He did not drive Xiaofei away. After all, Old Jack has helped Tang Hao and Tang San to a certain extent. Xiaofei himself occasionally helped there for a while, but his technique was extremely rough. He was a complete layman for Tang Hao and Tang San, which made Tang Hao sneer and basically ignored Xiaofei. In private, I praise Xiaofei a lot. Such a young child actually knows how to use the environment to learn. The last point is the understanding and confirmation of my own martial soul. Through this period of research, I finally confirmed 2 points about my martial soul. My martial soul is the same as Ma Hongjun, the evil fire phoenix. The evil fire is probably more difficult to deal with than Ma Hongjun. This evil fire is a bit like the drugs in my previous life. I am afraid that it will be more serious after my additional soul ring is fully awakened. In addition, I do have 2 martial souls, and my other martial soul is my right hand. Xiaofei is also confused. Obviously, the top-level martial soul of the body only awakens one hand. Is it because I watched too many movies in my previous life that I awakened a unicorn arm? My 2 martial souls seem to be able to be used at the same time. Finally, all the welfare systems for traversers, I have been calling for several months in a row, but I haven't called a hair. It seems that I can only rely on myself to develop, for my own development. How many plans did Xiaofei make? First, the coxcomb phoenix sunflower in the yin-yang eye of ice and fire must be obtained. This is related to whether Xiaofei can practice in the future or the subsequent development. Without the coxcomb phoenix sunflower, the upper limit may be the Soul Emperor at most, and there may be a risk of explosion. The target academy after graduation is the Blazing Fire Academy. It is the most suitable place for the development of the fire element martial spirit. Then there is the problem of the direction of the martial spirit development. The Kirin arm naturally cannot be developed. The fire phoenix has been registered in the spirit hall, and it is estimated that only this martial spirit can be developed. There are 2 main directions for development. Refer to Marco and Ace in One Piece. One focuses on the fire element, and the other focuses on its own physique and recovery. Both points feel good. One is good at group attack, and the other is good at single attack. I think I can take the best of both. First of all soul rings must have fire elements, and try to get closer to the phoenix bloodline. If there is no dragon bloodline, or restore a strong bloodline, especially the first few soul rings. As for the Kirin arm, in the later stage, you can keep going to a higher soul beast. The arm belongs to the body and can withstand any element. There is only one quota for work-study students in the Holy Soul Village, which is not a problem for old Jack. There are basically no martial spirits awakened in the surrounding villages, so he shared a quota from the neighboring Wanghun village. It was finally time to start school. Old Jack privately gave Xiaofei 3 gold soul coins. This should be the money that old Jack saved for Xiaofei over the years. It was originally used to marry a wife. Now going to school seems to be more important than marrying a wife. Old Jack took Xiaofei and Tang San, sorted out their things, and the 3 of them gradually walked towards Nodding City. Xiaofei looked back at the whole village from time to time, looking at the busy villagers around. Xiaofei knew that from today on, he was different. He took the biggest change in his life. When he came back again, he was definitely a soul master, and the people around him were just ordinary villagers. On the way, Tang San kept asking old Jack some questions. These were all basic questions about soul masters. For the reborn, these questions were basic common sense questions. But from all this, it can be seen that Tang San was nervous. It is obvious that Tang San has social phobia. Knowing Tang San's growth environment, he thinks all this is normal. First of all, Tang San in his previous life was a disciple of the Tang sect, which was a sect of assassin organizations. The essence of the Tang sect was poison and assassination. Assassins are often solitary, so Tang San's interpersonal relationships tend to be solitary. Secondly, there was Tang Hao, a drunkard. Tang Hao had basically no education for Tang San since he was a child. Tang San knew how to do housework since he was a child. It can be said that Tang San was taking care of Tang Hao. Moreover, the 2 of them basically had no communication in daily life, which cultivated Tang San's current solitary and socially anxious personality. Finally, at noon, the 3 of them finally arrived at the gate of Nodding Primary School. Chapter 4, Enrollment, Tang Xiaosan becomes a disciple. You are listening at NovelFold.audio. Finally arriving at Nodding College, they saw a tall arch in the distance. The arch was 20 meters wide and 10 meters high. It was made of hard rock and had 2 iron gates underneath. Dark, Xiaofei could tell at a glance that it was made of fine iron. Through the iron gate, you can see the winding paths inside. A road leads directly to the interior, with tall trees on both sides. In the middle of the arch, there are 4 large characters, Nodding College. As seen in the book of the previous life, the 3 old Jacks encountered difficulties from the guard in the previous life. Martial Spirit Blue Silver Grass. You are also born with full soul power. It's funny. This is really the most ridiculous thing in the world. I have been working as a concierge in the academy for 4 years, and I have never heard of any students who are born with full soul power. This kids, if the martial soul is blue silver grass, can it still be full of soul power? I think this certificate from the Spirit Hall must have been forged by you. These words made old Jack tremble with anger. From the corner of Xiaofei's eyes, he seemed to see Tang San's calm face and a trace of murderous intent. Moreover, his cuffs seemed to be lifting up. He sighed secretly. He walked directly to the guard and picked up the Wuhuan certificate thrown on the ground. Hello, Mr. Guard, this certificate was personally signed by Deacon Su Yuntao of Nodding City. If you think there is a problem, we will go directly to the Wuhuan Hall now. Master Su Yuntao only needs to confirm, but when the time comes that you ignore the Wuhuan Hall's proof, trouble will arise. Are you really ignoring the Wuhuan Hall and Master Su Yuntao? After saying this, the guard started to get a little nervous. He just wanted to extort some pocket money, so he really didn't dare to go to Master Su Yuntao for confirmation. Okay, stop. A hoarse voice came over. I saw a somewhat decadent middle-aged man walking over. Xiaofei took a serious look and saw that this was the legendary Master Yu Xiaojiang. He saw a medium-sized, slightly thin man who had come to them at some point. It seemed that this man was about 40 or 50 years old, with short black hair parted in 3s and 7s. He had a very ordinary appearance, with his hands behind his back, but he had a special temperament, and his eyes were open and closed with a bit of laziness and decadence. When Xiaofei first saw Yu Xiaojiang, he felt that this man was a decadent person and also a paranoid person. Looking back at the original work, if it weren't for his paranoid character, he would not have achieved the following achievements. With such a persistent and melancholy temperament, it is no wonder that the two proud women Bibi Dong and Lu Erlong in the original work are devoted to him. Xiaojiang said to Old Jack, "Old sir, can you show me your martial arts certificate?" Old Jack was the village chief, so he still had some sharp eyesight, so he gave Yu Xiaojiang 2 martial spirit certificates. Yu Xiaojiang picked up the martial arts certificate and checked it carefully. The certificate is true. "Old sir, I apologize to you on behalf of the college for what happened just now. Leave these 2 children to me." Old Jack quickly said, "No need to apologize, these 2 children will trouble you." Old Jack took Xiaofei and told Tang San some precautions, such as carefully studying safety and so on, and then returned to Holy Soul Village alone. Yu Xiaojiang glanced at the concierge lightly. "This is the first time and the last time. If you do it again, you don't need to stay." His voice was hoarse and calm, but it had an unsettling quality. An irrefutable feeling. Then, Yu Xiaojiang took Tang Fei and Xiao San into the school. Yu Xiaojiang pulled Tang San, obviously wanting to say something. I wonder if it was because Xiaofei was also present, so some words were left unsaid. Xiaofei saw the embarrassment of the 3 of them and said to Yu Xiaojiang, "The registration office is over there, old man. I'll go there first. If you have anything to say, please tell me first." Then he walked to the teaching office alone. On the way, I couldn't help but look back at the 2 of them. It was probably the legendary apprenticeship session. Therefore, he is not very interested in this. Besides, he has never thought of becoming a disciple of Yu Xiaojiang, and it is estimated that Yu Xiaojiang will not think highly of him. On the other hand, Yu Xiaojiang probably couldn't give him what he wanted, so he simply stayed away from the 2 of them. After enrolling in school, Xiaofei was assigned to number 7 house as expected. After receiving the school uniform, Xiaofei came to Qixia through the teacher's guidance. Xiaofei knocked on the door. As soon as he walked in, a student who was already quite burly for his age walked up to Xiaofei. He looked at Xiaofei condescendingly and said, "A new work-study student." A kind smile appeared on Xiaofei's face. "Hello, I am a work-study student from Holy Soul Village. My name is Wang Sheng, and my martial spirit is Zhan Hu, the future fighting spirit master. I am also the leader here. Boy, what's your name?" "My name is Wang Xiaofei, and the martial spirit is Flame Bird." "Not bad, Xiaofei, you have to listen to me from now on." Xiaofei didn't want to pay attention to these people and replied, "Okay, I'll take care of you from now on." Wang Sheng saw that Xiaofei was more obedient, so he didn't embarrass Xiaofei. "You can go to your own bed alone, put down your clothes and other things, and tidy up on the bed for a while." Sure enough, not long after, Tang San also came to the dormitory. A conflict broke out between Tang San and Wang Sheng, and Wang Sheng was killed by Tang. 3 are easily solved. Immediately afterwards, our heroine Xiao Wu appeared. She looked really cute, and she turned out to be a little white rabbit. As expected, Tang San was defeated by Xiao Wu, and Qixi came to the era when Xiao Wu was king and hegemonic. Xiaofei wanted to hold his forehead and smiled bitterly, watching a group of children having fun here. The next day was the opening ceremony. Tang San did not attend, probably because Yu Xiaojiang went to get his first spirit ring. After the first class, Xiaofei finally got the meditation method he had always dreamed of. Xiaofei knew that this was the most common and simplest meditation method on the continent, but for a civilian, it was the most suitable at this stage. Chapter 5 Exercise Program. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. After getting the meditation method, Xiaofei started trying to meditate that night. The first meditation was not so smooth and there was a slight resistance. Is this the contrast between ordinary soul power and innate full soul power? In fact, the method of meditation is very simple. Through meditation, the soul power circulates and flows in the body. Through the operation and flow, the soul power in the body gradually increases. When it reaches a saturated state, it is about to be upgraded, and the soul power the upgrade indicates a certain improvement in physical fitness and other aspects. No wonder the higher the level of the soul master, the stronger the suppression of the lower level soul masters. The higher the soul power level, the stronger the physical fitness. If you look carefully at the direction of the soul power, it should be the so-called meridians in the martial arts world, but there are no meridians in Douluo Continent. This concept, for those so-called tidal Douluo, is just to open up all the meridians in the body and achieve a qualitative improvement in physical fitness. No wonder Tang Xiaosan's Shen technique was so helpful to his cultivation. Different meditation methods are probably related to the direction and location of the soul power in the body. For example, the transformation of the dragon in the blue electric Tyrannosaurus family should focus on the part of the body where the soul power is concentrated in the early stage. The transformation of the dragon in the air is different. Meditation method. After a night of meditation, Xiaofei felt that his soul power had improved slightly. This should be the benefit of meditation. Xiaofei couldn't help but think of the training of running with stones in Shrek Academy in the original book, which means people constantly break through their limits. When they are extremely tired or in a state of breakthrough, the meditation speed will be faster. Sure enough, the body is the foundation of everything. In the next few days, Xiaofei will start to formulate his own exercise plan. After getting up in the morning, it is a day of normal exercise, which mainly includes weight-bearing running, weight-bearing frog jumps, boxing and punching sandbags, etc. Through these high-intensity movements, try to have a hearty breakfast. The main work in the morning is class and meditation. This is mainly for learning knowledge, including but not limited to the teacher's class, checking library materials, checking related soul beast information, etc. In the afternoon, I have to find a way to work outside. Since I am of the fire element, it is best to go to blacksmithing, so the blacksmithing room is always the place with the highest concentration of fire element in the entire city. The last thing is to meditate in the dormitory at night. In this way, a few days passed and it was the weekend. Xiaofei found a blacksmith shop. As soon as he arrived at the blacksmith shop, the owner of the blacksmith shop came to receive Xiaofei. "Hello, guest, do you need to build something? If you need something, it's best to ask your adults to come over." Xiaofei immediately said, "Uncle, I am a student of Notting College, and I can come to you to apply for a blacksmith apprenticeship. I am very strong." All the blacksmiths around were curious. An old blacksmith next to him said, "Kid, from the look of you, you should be a student of the Soul Master Academy. Soul Masters are the profession that everyone on the continent respects the most. The professional status of a blacksmith is relatively low. How can anyone go down low?" Xiaofei replied, "Hello, Master, I have been interested in blacksmithing since I was a child, and my martial spirit is related to the element of fire. Blacksmithing is helpful to the cultivation of my martial spirit. My grandfather and I are the only two people in the family who depend on each other. I'm not afraid of hardship and can help." At this time, the owner of the blacksmith shop spoke, "Hello, kid, my name is Tinu. I am the owner of this blacksmith shop. Decent work is more labor-intensive. You can stay here and give it a try. The main work of the blacksmith shop is it's all about blacksmithing. You can give it a try with that casting hammer. If you can work here," he pointed to an empty blacksmith's bench next to him. "There is also a larger hammer on the bench." Xiaofei walked to the blacksmith's bench, picked up the casting hammer, and based on his previous memories, he hammered the pig iron in front of him for a period of time. After about half an hour, he didn't know how many times he actually hammered it, and the pig iron gradually became small molding, gradually giving off a dark luster. Xiaofei stopped and looked at his boss Tinu. Tinu clamped the forged iron block with pliers and observed it carefully. "Kid, you must have never learned to forge before. It seems that you are very strong and rhythmic. You can make it alone after learning for a while. You can come here to work every afternoon. The salary here is not high, 1 gintama coin per month, but we include dinner here and you are guaranteed to have enough to eat. In Douluo Continent, 1 gintama coin is equal to 10 gintama coins, which is equal to 100. Bronze soul coins. The main character is physically better than Tang Xiaosan, so the salary is the same. Xiaofei looked happy and quickly thanked him. Thank you uncle, I will come here every afternoon to study and work. Amid everyone's laughter, another teacher was assigned to Xiaofei, who mainly taught Xiaofei how to forge. Forging is not that simple. Basic blacksmithing also includes other processes such as iron block shaping and water passing. So, under the guidance of an old master, Xiaofei started his first day of work. In the words of a master, learn to blacksmith first and then learn other things. Once you can master all of them, you will be a genuine blacksmith. In the afternoon, Xiaofei kept working there, almost never stopping. Until the sun was about to go down, as the boss said something, everyone was collecting things and stopped working for the day. Xiaofei was also so busy that he had no strength left in his body. After all, it was such a heavy physical work for a child to sit and forge. At dinner, a group of big blacksmiths gathered around the table and ate very happily. Although the things are very ordinary, Xiaofei feels that this is a bit like the warmth of home. This is the ordinary life of civilians in Douluo Continent. At night, Xiaofei dragged his tired body back to the dormitory. Sitting on the bed, Xiaofei began a day of meditation. Do you think today's meditation is more efficient than yesterday? Maybe it's because of the contact with the fire element for a day, or it may be because he was busy all day and broke the limit of his body. The next morning, Xiaofei got up and started a new day of study. After working for a week, Xiaofei suddenly had an idea today. If he meditated in the blacksmith shop after get off work that day, what would the effect be? So, Xiaofei did it immediately when he thought of it. On that day, after get off work from the blacksmith shop, after dinner, Xiaofei did not return to the dormitory immediately, but meditated at the place where he worked during the day. After a period of meditation, Xiaofei summarized himself. As expected, meditating in the blacksmith shop is more efficient than in the dormitory. This is the so-called simulated environment. The next day, Xiaofei found Tiniu and said, "Boss, I see there is an empty utility room upstairs. Can I live in the blacksmith shop at night in the future? I feel that meditating in the blacksmith shop is much more efficient than in the dormitory." Boss Tiniu thought for a while and said, "That room is relatively empty and there is nothing now. If you want, you can live here. I will ask a few people to tidy it up after dinner and put a bed there." Xiaofei was very happy to get the boss's consent. Another day later, Xiaofei found the director of the school's teaching department and told him about moving out. The director of teaching wanted to refuse on the grounds of student safety, but because Xiaofei was a part-time student, the school's housing was originally tight, and he was still familiar with Tiniu, the owner of the forging shop. After a period of communication, it was finally agreed that Xiaofei could live in the blacksmith shop. Of course, Tiniu, the owner of the blacksmith shop, also went to the school on purpose. Xiaofei's life was quite monotonous. He would exercise in the morning, study in the morning, work in the blacksmith shop in the afternoon, and meditate in the blacksmith shop. He kept doing this for half a year. Finally one day, Xiaofei felt a sense of relief in his body. I have finally reached level 10. Xiaofei officially broke through to level 10, and felt the bottleneck of cultivation after level 10. The next step was to get a spirit ring. Chapter 6 Goals. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Finally reaching level 10, Xiaofei's face was full of excitement. The next morning, Xiaofei walked to the teaching office and applied to the teacher in the teaching office for help from the school in hunting the first soul ring. Xiaofei has several plans for the first soul ring. First of all, it must be a fire attribute soul beast. It is best to be more than 400 years old. It can be increased appropriately, but it is best not to exceed 600 years. After half a year of training, Xiaofei feels that his body's lifespan should be longer than that of many soul masters. It should be able to withstand more than 100 or 200 years. But if it is not possible, the unicorn arm can also withstand part of the soul ring's power. After all, the fundamental advantage of the body's martial soul is that it can absorb it for a long time. Soul ring evolution. Finally, there is the issue of soul beast bloodline. The best ones are of course those of the phoenix bloodline. However, the soul beasts of the phoenix bloodline in Douluo Continent are very rare, even rarer than dragons, and they are basically flying types. It is very difficult to hunt them. It is impossible for a small family to hunt them down, let alone a commoner like Xiaofei. Nodding College is a soul master college. College teachers and leaders are all soul masters. Among them, the teaching director is a soul master, and the dean is a level 42 weapon soul sect. They are also well-known figures in Nodding City. The academy regularly organizes personnel to go hunting in the nearby spirit beast forest, but most of them are low-life spirit rings. The dean replied to Xiaofei that it would take some time to prepare for the school. At the same time, Xiaofei also mentioned his needs, which was about 400 years old and had a fire attribute. The dean said it needed to be considered. Wang Xiaofei's innate soul power is level 8, and he has become a quasi-soul master in less than half a year, and he is usually destined to become a soul master before graduation. He is also very hardworking and can be said to be a model of serious study among students. After the principal organized a meeting with teachers to communicate, it was determined that his requirements were met. Of course, in this case the principal decided to take action personally. After all, this is also a favor from a big shot in the future. A few days later, it was time for the soul hunt organized by the college. 6 students, including Xiaofei, went to hunt for souls together. The other 5 students were basically senior students. The principal personally led the team, as well as the school's dean, a level 36 soul master, and a martial soul black bear. 2 other teachers accompanied us, basically the best lineup in the school. A group of 10 people and 2 carriages headed to the nearby soul hunting forest. After arriving at the outskirts and storing the carriage, there were noisy voices everywhere at the entrance of the soul hunting forest. I need a warrant, bring one. The warrants are complete, but I need an assistant. Accept all kinds of soul hunting employment, guaranteed satisfaction. In short, it's just a small market. The dean took the opportunity to teach all the students. There are various dangers in the soul hunting forest. Many of them are caused by soul beasts, and more are caused by people. There are no rules in it. Many people come here to grab a high-quality soul beast. Attack each other. So every year, many people die in the soul hunting forest, and more people disappear in the soul hunting forest. After entering the soul hunting forest, several teachers have obviously changed. The principal himself and a teacher are in the middle with 6 students. The dean of students, Wu Changqing, is responsible for scouting and opening the way in front. Another teacher is blocking the way in the back to prevent being caught by the souls behind. Attack by animals or people. It can be said that he is quite well trained. Entering the soul hunting forest, you feel like you have entered another world completely. There are towering trees everywhere, the ground is only for walking, and various plants are densely scattered around the forest. From time to time, 2 small snakes or other small animals emerged. Xiaofei felt that this place was scarier than the animal world in his previous life. The afternoon went relatively smoothly. 2 classmates found suitable soul rings, both of which were just over a century old. At night, the principal took out several tents. Several teachers took turns keeping vigil. Teacher Wu also took out some powdery objects and sprinkled them around. This is the feces of the Titan ape. It can scare away most of the spirit beasts. Maybe I was lucky the next day, and I met a group of flaming lions. The largest one among them was more than 3 meters long. According to the principal's analysis, it was estimated to be more than 400 years old. Several people analyzed it and finally looked at Xiaofei. Xiaofei thought for a while and finally made up his mind. Principal, just this flaming lion. I have good physical fitness and should be able to withstand it. The principal lowered his head and said nothing. He raised and lowered his hands and touched Xiaofei a few times before saying, you have good physical fitness, you should be able to do it. Several people set up a relatively large trap near the Blaze Master, and then Teacher Wu attacked the Blaze Master. After being attacked, the Blaze Lion became obviously angry, and a ball of flames appeared all over its body, attacking Teacher Wu like a fire unicorn. The principal took the opportunity to attack the Blaze Master. After some fighting and attraction, the Blaze Lion fell into a prearranged trap, and the other little Blaze Lions fled in a rush. In the end, after some attacks, the Blazing Lion fell in a pool of blood. The principal nodded to Xiaofei. Xiaofei stabbed the flaming lion in the eye with a long knife. Then, a yellow soul ring appeared over the body of the Blazing Lion. Xiaofei summoned his own martial spirit according to the principal's instructions, and then guided the spirit ring to the fire phoenix. A powerful soul force rushed towards Xiaofei, with a very powerful flame in it. Like a raging flame, the shadow rushed towards Xiaofei. Xiaofei suddenly felt very painful, and his whole body seemed to explode. Half an hour later, Xiaofei felt more and more painful, and his body felt like it was going to explode. The principal looked at Xiaofei's painful expression, and then took a closer look at the body of the Blazing Lion. No, this is not the Flame Lion, it's the Flame Lion King. It's the mutation of an ordinary Flame Master. It's over 500 years old, and it's almost 600 years old. Xiaofei is in danger now. Looking at the principal's expression, everyone else showed some worry. Xiaofei himself just felt that his body was burning like a flame, and he gritted his teeth and endured it. It felt like his body was about to collapse at any time. Could this be the consequence of forcibly absorbing a high-year soul ring? At the critical moment, Xiaofei's right hand began to change a little, and began to actively bear part of the flame and energy. The whole arm seemed to feel like it was roasted on fire. Xiaofei's body also began to slowly adapt to this uncomfortable feeling. An hour later, the power on his body finally began to disappear, and Xiaofei finally breathed a sigh of relief. This soul ring was finally absorbed, and this level was finally passed. Opening his eyes, several teachers and classmates finally breathed a sigh of relief. The principal hurriedly asked, "Xiaofei, how do you feel now? Are you uncomfortable?" "I'm really sorry, this time I made a wrong judgment. This fiery Lion King is almost 600 years old." Xiaofei also suddenly realized that it was so difficult to absorb the soul ring this time. The body felt so uncomfortable. If it weren't for the right hand absorbing part of the energy, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to pass this level. Xiaofei closed his eyes and felt his body carefully. He felt that his whole body was extremely unobstructed, and the meridians all over his body had an indescribable feeling of comfort. Especially the right hand, I feel that the strength has increased a lot. But the right palm feels a little numb, as if the bones have changed a little. Xiaofei opened his eyes, glanced at the people around him, lowered his head and thought for a while. He secretly breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Principal, I feel very good now." "Very good, let's leave here first, there are still a few people's soul rings to hunt." The principal said. So several people continued to move in other directions according to the plan, and the formation was still the same as before. Chapter 7 Harvest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After 2 days, the group finally completed the soul hunting, and everyone got a relatively satisfactory soul ring. After leaving the forest, the group took back the carriage. Finally, they returned to school in the evening. It's getting late now. Tomorrow, everyone will go to the Wuhuan Hall to register as a soul master. Today, you should go back to the dormitory to rest. The principal told everyone. After Xiaofei greeted a few people, he went back to the blacksmith shop. The people in the blacksmith shop had already started to get off work. He hurriedly greeted Tainyo. "Xiaofei, you are finally back. How was the soul hunting this time? Didn't get a satisfactory soul ring?" "Xiaofei, you will be a soul master in the future, and you can go to the Wuhuan Hall to receive the soul master subsidy. I was very lucky this time. With the help of our school principal, I still got a good soul ring. Tomorrow morning, our principal will organize us to register at the Wuhuan Hall." Xiaofei replied. "Very good, Xiaofei will be a soul master in the future. Let's drink more tonight and celebrate well. Tang Xiaosan said happily. The people around also gathered together and laughed. Dinner was more sumptuous than ever before, and everyone was very happy. How many people drank several jars of wine? It was also the first time for Xiaofei to drink since he came to this world. Looking at the group of simple people around him, Xiaofei felt very down-to-earth and very happy. Xiaofei said to himself, "These are ordinary people, and they are also a group of ordinary people. They just want the simplest and most simple life." The blacksmith shop was closed at night, and Xiaofei was the only one sitting in the backyard of the blacksmith shop. Xiaofei was there sorting out his harvest from this soul hunting. First, Xiaofei got his first soul ring, and it was super-year-old. Xiaofei felt that his flame seemed to have become stronger, and the flame on his body became more intimate. Summoning the fire phoenix martial soul, it was obvious that the phoenix was more solid, and the flame of the fire phoenix seemed to have become stronger. With a casual attack around, it felt that this ordinary attack was accompanied by fire damage. Thinking about it carefully, it felt like the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex martial soul, and the attack was accompanied by lightning effects. First soul skill, Phoenix Flame. Xiaofei used the first soul skill and felt that the flame on his body increased by 50%, and this was continuous. The soul power in the body made the flame damage higher and continuously consumed soul power. According to the soul power in Xiaofei's body, this skill can last for about 20 minutes. With the increase of soul power in the future, the duration will also become longer. Compared with the third soul skills of many soul masters, it is also similar. Then, Xiaofei cancelled the possession of the fire phoenix martial soul, and then summoned his right-hand martial soul. The appearance of the right-hand martial soul did not change much, but the strength seemed to increase by about 20%. This should not be the second awakening of the main body martial soul. It can only be said that this hand has signs of awakening, but it has not fully awakened, and it has awakened about 20%. If you want to awaken, it is estimated that you have to obtain the 6th or even 7th soul ring. It may be more difficult to awaken than imagined. In short, the physical fitness has become stronger, especially the right hand. Finally, it is the palm. In the past few days, Xiaofei has been feeling numb in his hand, as if something is about to come out. But there are too many people around, and Xiaofei has been deliberately suppressing this feeling. Now there is no one around, you can use your palm without worry. After Xiaofei input the soul power into his palm, 5 claws suddenly appeared on the whole finger. A closer look showed that the 5 claws were still very sharp, and with a trace of flame, and this claw was very similar to the claw of the Flame Lion King. Xiaofei was so happy that his whole body was shaking a little. Could this be the legendary external soul bone? The palm of the Flame Lion King has an external soul bone. Ha ha ha, I finally have my first soul bone, and it is an external soul bone that can grow. So far, the harvest of the first soul ring has been counted. It can be said that the harvest is full. It can be said that no one has harvested more than himself in the first soul ring. This may be the benefit of absorbing soul rings beyond the age limit. Of course, this also has a very big risk. If it weren't for the existence of the right-hand martial soul, I'm afraid Xiaofei would explode and die. At night, Xiaofei continued to meditate in the blacksmith shop. Xiaofei always felt that his meditation speed seemed to have become faster than before. What is the reason? Xiaofei couldn't help but shake his head, feeling confused. Who cares? Anyway, faster meditation is a good thing. In this way, a night passed inexplicably. The next morning, the principal took 6 people to the spirit hall. Entering the spirit hall, the principal asked directly, "Is Master Mtlnovel here? Take us to see him." Obviously, the principal and the staff here are familiar with each other. After all, in a small place like Nodding City, many soul masters graduated from the Soul Master Academy. Led by the staff, several people came to the hall of the spirit hall. Master Mtlnovel and several staff members were there, including Master Su Yuntao. Liang Fei hurriedly nodded and greeted Master Su Yuntao. Master Mashino said, "Principal, how come you have time to come here in person today? Are there a few good seedlings in the school?" The principal laughed and said, "Not bad, this time 6 students have become soul masters." It can be seen that the principal is really happy. For a school principal, what is more worthy of joy than the excellence of students? Well, congratulations, I will test your soul power first. Master Mashino said. Everyone lined up to take the soul power test, and they were basically all level 11. Mashino tested them one by one. After each test, he gave them an iron badge, and then took out a black booklet. On the box, their martial soul, soul power level, innate soul power and other personal information were clearly written. After stamping, he personally handed it to each student, and also gave each student a gold soul coin, and said a few words of encouragement. It can be seen that everyone is quite excited. After all, from today on, they are soul masters. The last one to take the test was Wang Xiaofei. Looking at the shining crystal ball, Master Mashino was obviously a little excited. This is level 13, just hunted the soul ring and it is level 13. Not bad. What soul beast did you hunt? The principal hurriedly said. This time I personally led the team, and hunted the Flame Lion King, a soul beast over 400 years old. The principal had communicated with Xiaofei before. If you want to explain the soul ring hunted this time, just say it is 400 years. If you say it is 600 years, everyone may have trouble. Xiaofei was also afraid of trouble, so he readily agreed. In fact, according to Xiaofei's feeling, he seems to have touched the barrier of level 14, and he can break through to level 14 in a week at most. Little friend, you are only 6 years old this year, and you are already level 13. You are not interested in studying in our Wuhuan Hall Academy. You will have better development in the Wuhuan Hall Academy in the future. There will be some soul emperors or even soul saints to guide you. Go away, this is a student of my nodding academy. You are poaching in front of him. The dean said angrily. It's for the future of the children. Let the children choose for themselves or their parents. This will be better for their future development. Master Mashino said with a kind face and a smile. I'm sorry, Master Mashino, my family lives in Xinghun village. My family only has me and my grandfather to depend on each other. I can't bear to leave my grandfather and the villagers, and the dean is very good to me. So I don't want to go to other schools for the time being. Xiaofei said seriously. Master Ma Ziyunuo looked disappointed. Okay, I'll think about it carefully when you graduate from the Junior Soul Master Academy. The Soul Master Academy of the Spirit Hall is definitely the best choice for us civilians. In this way, Xiaofei got his Soul Master certificate and a gold soul coin, and he will have 1 gold soul coin every month in the future. It can be regarded as a temporary solution to his financial problems. Chapter 8 Evil Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the next period of time, Xiaofei continued to practice according to the original plan. That night, while Xiaofei was meditating, he suddenly felt something strange. I feel a sense of impulse, and at the same time I feel that this kind of thing has a slight influence on my desire. Xiaofei hurriedly walked to the backyard and was possessed by the martial spirit. Sure enough, it was in Fire Phoenix. Xiaofei felt a strange flame. Observing this flame carefully, I feel that it is a bit incompatible with the flame of the phoenix. At the same time, it will affect the phoenix itself. It is a bit like the demon species mentioned in the novels of the previous life, which affects one's own behavior in the unconscious process. There may even be an urge to vent, which may include killing or having fun with a woman. Xiaofei carefully reviewed the original work, and suddenly his thought flashed, this is the evil fire in the evil fire phoenix. Ma Hongjun was affected by this kind of thing, causing his body to gain weight, and he needed to go to the bar regularly. Trouble. In the next few days, Xiaofei meditated and looked up various information. He went through the entire Noting Junior College books and found no relevant books. 2 days later, Xiaofei successfully rose to level 14. At the same time, Xiaofei felt that the evil fire in his body seemed to have become stronger. Could it be that the evil fire grew based on the improvement of his soul power? Xiaofei suddenly felt bitter. What should we do? Do we want to follow Ma Hongjuan's approach to hook up? Xiaofei despised Ma Hongjun in his previous life. Ma Hongjun was second only to Tang Xiaosan in talent among the Shrek 7 monsters, especially in terms of attack. However, his own achievements are the lowest among all the people, and he himself is also one of the least hardworking people among the Shrek 7 devils. I don't want to become like Ma Hongjun. In the next few days, Xiaofei was very worried, and sometimes he was not even energetic in class. In his memory, it seems that the only one that can solve the problem of evil fire is the coxcomb phoenix sunflower. But now the ice and fire eyes belong to Douluo. If he rushes over now, he is afraid that he will be slapped to death by Douluo. Douluo was one of the most ferocious people in the Tiando Empire. He killed people without blinking an eye, and it was said that he had even massacred entire cities. Xiaofei couldn't help but smile bitterly, until one day, Xiaofei suddenly saw Tang Xiaosan and had an idea. The cultivation method of twin martial souls must first improve one martial soul to the extreme. At the same time, the physical fitness needs to be exercised to the extreme, so as to avoid the phenomenon of twin martial souls exploding. In other words, as long as you improve your physical fitness to the limit, you can avoid the backlash and influence of evil fire. At the same time, Xiaofei couldn't help but think of another character. Douluo. Douluo's whole body was covered with jade-scaled snake venom. The snake venom gave him great strength, but also backfired on himself. He himself used the ice and fire eyes to suppress the snake venom on his body, and the method Tang Xiaosan came up with for him was soul bone transfer. Snake venom method. Can I transfer the evil fire to my external soul bone at the same time? The upper limit of the externally attached soul bone is extremely high, and it can become stronger as the soul power increases. Wouldn't this kill two birds with one stone? It can not only solve the problem of evil fire, but also temper the externally attached soul bones and increase the life of the externally attached soul bones. He did it as he thought. That night, Xiaofei summoned his fire phoenix spirit and felt the flames on his spirit. Sure enough, there were two different flames on his spirit, one of which was the phoenix flame, and the other one was the phoenix flame. The seed is impure evil fire. I carefully felt the flame and controlled my soul power, guiding the flame to transfer to the attached soul bone on my palm. After one night of transfer, the evil fire on the fire phoenix became less. Sure enough, it can be executed like this, so I can continue if I practice. I will become stronger faster. At the same time, Xiaofei thought of another question. There were two different flames in his body. If these two flames that could not be merged operated like Xiao Yan, wouldn't they be the Douluo version of Buddha's angry fire lotus? After thinking about it carefully, I still think it's okay. I don't have the burning technique, and I have no way to fuse the two flames. When the time comes, I might explode first. It seems that the main task recently is to exercise, improve physical fitness and transfer evil fire. Alas, Xiaofei sighed softly. Other time travelers are all awesome. Not to mention golden fingers, I don't even have hair on my body. Instead, I have evil fire that can explode at any time. Moreover, my innate soul power level is one level lower than Ma Hongjuan's. It means that he may have more evil fire than Ma Hongjun, making it more difficult to deal with. After sighing for a while, Xiaofei started his hard work plan for the day again. After a month of hard work, Xiaofei temporarily transferred the evil fire in his body to the external soul bone. However, every time Xiaofei meditated, he always felt that some evil fire would be produced to some extent, which made Xiaofei angry. Incessantly. Who said this evil fire comes with the martial spirit itself? Unless the martial soul can be upgraded. At the same time, Xiaofei also gradually understood the reason why his cultivation speed became faster. It was because the extra soul ring power was absorbed by the Flame Lion Queen by leapfrogging. After Fei improved the flame itself through his first soul skill, Xiaofei was able to gradually feel the changes in the fire element in his body. In other words, Xiaofei's ability to withstand and understand the fire element has become stronger now, especially when he was in the blacksmith shop. It was obvious that there was much more fire element in the air than in other places, which further deepened Xiaofei's understanding. So that's how it is. The first stage of the fire phoenix should be the perception of the fire element. Through the contact with excessive soul power and soul skills, I can contact a higher level of flame in advance. The flame has made my meridians wider through the impact and baptism of my body's meridians last time, which allows me to meditate 10 to 20% faster. This is also a good thing. In this way, it can be said that my innate soul power level has improved. It is estimated that my innate soul power level is about level 9.5 now, which is a huge improvement. Xiaofei talked to himself. Fortunately, there was no one around, and no one heard Xiaofei's words, otherwise Xiaofei's words might cause a big change in the Soul Master world. In the blink of an eye, it was the end of the year. Because they were from the same village, Xiaofei and Tang Xiaosan made an appointment to go back to the village together. On the day after school, Xiaofei, Xiaowu and Tang Xiaosan were walking on the road. Xiaofei carried various packages on his back, which could be some clothes, farm tools, seeds, food and the like bought by old Jack. Tang Xiaosan and Xiaowu didn't have anything on them, and it was obvious that they were put in the soul guide. Tang Xiaosan didn't have any intention to help Xiaofei get it either, probably because he was afraid that the soul guide would be leaked. Xiaofei didn't want to say anything about this. Everyone has their own way to go. No matter when, people can only rely on themselves, and they must never tell their secrets to others. In this way, 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl, one of whom carried a few packages, slowly walked towards the Holy Soul Village. Chapter 9 Home. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. After a day of traveling, we finally returned to Holy Soul Village in the afternoon. Xiaofei saw old Jack waiting for him at the entrance of the village. Regarding the time when he would return to the village during the holiday, Xiaofei had already informed old Jack through a letter. Xiaofei ran towards old Jack quickly, just about to summon his martial spirit. When he arrived at the village entrance, seeing old Jack's old face, Xiaofei felt like crying, "Grandpa, I'm back. It's good to be back, it's good to be back. It's been hard at school. Let's go home quickly. I stewed a chicken at home. I'll make up for it when I get home." Old Jack grabbed Xiaofei's body from time to time, looking here and there, fearing that Xiaofei had been injured or had other changes in his body. After all, he still knew the cruelty of the Soul Master world. After a while, Tang Xiaosan and Xiaowu also arrived at the entrance of the village. "The mistress is back too. Grandpa Jack, is my dad at home now?" Tang Xiaosan asked. Old Jack dug around for a while, then took out an envelope and handed it to Tang Xiaosan. "Xiaosan, your father is not at home now. He left a letter for you. If you return to the village, give it to you. By the way, your dad has been away for a while. There hasn't been a fire in your house for a long time. I don't know if there is any food. Come to my house for a meal first." Tang Xiaosan couldn't help but nodded, then opened the letter and read it carefully several times. Suddenly, Tang Xiaosan burst into tears. He couldn't help but talk about Dad. He didn't know what to say when they were together. In the end, Xiaowu comforted him, and Tang Xiaosan and Xiaowu followed Xiaofei and old Jack to old Jack's house. Perhaps knowing that Tang Xiaosan would come over to eat together, old Jack cooked a very sumptuous meal. After the meal, Tang Xiaosan thanked old Jack again, and then took Xiaowu back to his home. At night, when Xiaofei and old Jack were alone together, old Jack looked at Xiaofei with a strange look, which made Xiaofei's scalp numb. Xiaofei asked tremblingly, "Grandpa, did something happen at home? Why are you looking at me like this?" Old Jack said, "My mistress went to school with you and came back with such a beautiful girl in just 1 year. Why do you still come back alone? Remember to bring a beautiful girl back next time, and you will be alone. If so, it's best not to come back." Xiaofei felt speechless at old Jack's words tonight. Xiao Wu is an old gangster rabbit. If he were with such a girl, he would really feel a little alienated. I'm happier being single. Of course, Xiaofei didn't dare to say these words, so he quickly agreed to old Jack. Then Xiaofei took out some of the packages he had brought back and gave them to old Jack, especially some of the clothes, so that old Jack could try them on. Old Jack put on his new clothes and felt energetic, with an unstoppable smile on his face. At the same time, he also cursed angrily, "You go to school alone in Notting City. There is a lot of pressure to study and there are many places to spend money. You spend lavishly to buy things for me. You have everything at home. If you have money, you can save more and marry a wife. Use." After hearing this, Xiaofei was speechless again. No matter how you talk about it, it's all about getting a wife. In the next period of time, Xiaofei, except for his own exercise and meditation time, spent the rest of his time helping old Jack with some work, including hoeing and tidying up the house, and even shot a wild boar in the back mountain and gave it to the family. Improve life. Xiaofei sometimes feels that maybe this is the feeling of home, and this is the most cozy time in his life. Time flies by and it's almost time to start school again. On this day, Xiaofei, Xiao Wu, and Tang San left Holy Soul Village together. Old Jack stood there at the entrance of the village, watching these three people leave. Xiaofei was walking on the road, and when he almost lost sight of the village, he turned back and took one last look at old Jack. Then he thought for a moment, turned around, and left the village without looking back while Tang San and Xiao Wu were waiting. After returning to school, Xiaofei continued to return to his previous busy life. Due to the problem of evil fire, Xiaofei increased the intensity of his exercise. Xiaofei used high-density heavy silver to create 2 wrist guards and 2 wrist guards. The total weight of the foot protection and an iron vest is about 100 kilograms. Except for taking a bath, Xiaofei basically doesn't take off the weights. Due to the heavy weight and busy work, Xiaofei basically exhausted himself every day, and the evil fire basically had no effect on Xiaofei. On this day, the principal suddenly called himself to the office. Xiaofei suddenly felt confused. "It's okay, what did the principal ask me to do?" That when I walked to the office, I saw the principal and Yu Xiaojiang were there. Yu Xiaojiang's physical and mental outlook was obviously much better than when the school started last year. The person looks energetic and no longer depressed. Xiaofei thought to himself, "Is it because the principal is looking for me this time because of Yu Xiaojiang?" Sure enough, the principal introduced him. "This is Yu Xiaojiang, known as the Master. He is a theoretically invincible being in the Soul Master world. He has some questions to ask you." Xiaofei quickly replied, "Hello, Master, please come to me." "What do you want to ask?" Yu Xiaojiang nodded and asked, "You are Wang Xiaofei, right? Your first soul ring is the Flame Lion King that was nearly 600 years old. Can you tell me how you felt when you absorbed the soul ring?" I used to through various data theories. It is recorded that the annual limit for the absorption of the first soul ring is 423 years. Anyone who exceeds this period will basically explode and die. You are in such good health now, I want to know more. Xiaofei was speechless for a while. Your theories are all based on some statistical data from Wuhuan Palace. These things may be suitable for most ordinary people, but for some special situations, they may not be applicable. Although Xiaofei was a little dissatisfied, Yu Xiaojiang was a friend of the principal, and the principal helped him hunt for his soul ring. Although some of Yu Xiaojiang's theories are relatively rigid, they are indeed helpful to civilian soul masters. And after using his theory, it can indeed reduce the phenomenon of body explosion caused by failure to absorb the soul ring. It can be said that Yu Xiaojiang still made certain contributions to the soul master world. Although his theoretical knowledge is not necessarily very good, so Xiaofei replied politely, "When I first absorbed the soul ring, I felt as if my body was going to explode. It was like countless flames were burning my body. At that time, I felt that my body was a little prone to collapse. At that time, I gritted my teeth and endured it. I felt that if I got discouraged, my body might be irreversibly damaged. Xiaofei kept talking about some of the feelings of absorbing the soul ring at that time. Of course, he didn't reveal anything about the twin martial souls and the attached soul bones. After hearing Xiaofei's explanation, Yu Xiaojiang kept nodding. At the same time, I also asked Xiaofei some questions about his own exercise. When I heard that Xiaofei now lives in the blacksmith shop and meditates in the blacksmith shop every night. Yu Xiaojiang nodded and said, "In the blacksmith shop, it is indeed a good choice. It is like a simulated environment of fire. A fire elemental martial spirit like yours can indeed speed up your cultivation. It seems that you have a lot of ideas about cultivation." Chapter 10 Theory and Practice. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Then, Yu Xiaojiang carefully checked Xiaofei's physical fitness, including the movement of soul power in Xiaofei's body, etc., and was amazed by Xiaofei's cultivation speed and method. "Classmate Xiaofei, can you let me take a look at your martial spirit? Although this is a bit rash, but with my understanding of martial arts and some past knowledge, I can make some suggestions that will be beneficial to you in the future." Yu Xiaojiang rode. After listening to Yu Xiaojiang's words, Xiaofei rolled his eyes and said secretly, "I used to practice alone, and there was no one else to refer to and learn from. Yu Xiaojiang does no more theoretical knowledge, maybe it's true. It has reference value." So Xiaofei summoned his martial spirit. After taking a first look at Xiaofei's martial spirit, Yu Xiaojiang looked furious. "Which bastard in the spirit hall made the awakening of the martial spirit for you? You don't understand anything. Your martial spirit is obviously a fire phoenix. How could it be possible? Some people say it's a flame bird. That's totally unreasonable." Yu Xiaojiang carefully observed Xiaofei's martial spirit and nodded from time to time. Finally, he said, "Your martial soul is the top martial soul fire phoenix. According to the characteristics of the fire phoenix martial soul, your innate soul power is at least level 7. What level is your soul power now?" Xiaofei replied, "My soul power should have reached level 15. I just broke through it a few days ago." Both Yu Xiaojiang and the principal's eyes widened. Xiaofei's innate soul power was at level 8, and he had already reached level 15 in about a year. Yu Xiaojiang's student Tang San was only at level 16 now, and he had been upgraded recently. In terms of cultivation speed, Xiaofei's soul power cultivation speed is even faster than Tang San's. You must know that Tang San was born with full soul power. Knowing that he uses the mimetic environment to practice, this child is simply a genius in practice. The full talent is not as good as Tang San's twin martial souls, but there is definitely a bright future. If you persist, you should be able to reach the realm of title Douluo, Yu Xiaojiang said solemnly. "Hello, classmate, Xiaofei, are you interested in becoming my teacher? With my theoretical knowledge, I will definitely train you to be a top master." Xiaofei looked at Yu Xiaojiang, who looked solemn, thought about it seriously, and replied, "Master Yu Xiaojiang, I'm really sorry. I have my own training plan and future study plan. Please forgive me for not being able to accept you as my teacher." Hearing Xiaofei's reply, Yu Xiaojiang looked disappointed. Finally he said, "If you change your mind, you can come to me at any time. I am your classmate Tang San's teacher. Of course, if you have any questions about cultivation, you can come to me at any time." Xiaofei said quickly, "Thank you, Master. I don't understand anything. I hope Master can help me clear it up." Finally, with Yu Xiaojiang's disappointed look on his face, Xiaofei left the principal's office. In fact, just now, Xiaofei had the slightest impulse to become a disciple. Holding Tang San's thigh, he would probably become a god in the future. So when I think about Tang San's behavior in the future, I always feel a little unreliable. And now that I am also a time traveler, can't I go out of my own way? It's a sentence from the internet. In the past life, there is Yao Lao in the endless fire city, but Yu Xiaojiang is not seen in the god realm. After much thought, Xiaofei still felt that he had to go his own way. As a time traveler, you also have your own pride. That afternoon, after Tang San finished studying with Yu Xiaojiang asked, "Xiao San, do you know Wang Xiaofei in your class? What kind of person is he? Tang San thought about it seriously and said, Wang Xiaofei is from the same village as me. He is about the same age as me and went to school at the same time. His innate soul power is level 8. According to what the teacher told me before, he should be considered a genius. Last year during the Chinese New Year, I went back to my hometown with him. We were walking on the same road, and he was carrying a package and walking with me in Xiaowu. He could keep up with us without any difficulty, which shows that his physical fitness is very good. And after I got close to it, I felt that there was infinite explosive power and destructive power in his body, which seemed to be somewhat restraining my blue-silver grass. Yu Xiaojiang nodded and said, the analysis is very good. Wang Xiaofei's martial spirit is the fire phoenix. The flames of the fire phoenix can indeed restrain your blue-silver grass. Today I checked his body and soul power, and he has also its level 15. It's just a little bit slower than you. His cultivation speed is not slower than yours, and it's even a little faster. He lives in the blacksmith shop and meditates, which is really a way to speed up his cultivation. He is a very thoughtful and perseverant kid. I originally wanted to take him on as a disciple. He seems to have his own study and training plans. Tang San also nodded, Xiaofei is a person who has his own goals and will work hard to achieve them. This kind of person will never change once he has a goal. Yu Xiaojiang nodded and said, Xiaosan, you must practice harder in the future. I have a feeling that this person may be your lifelong opponent. Of course, he is also your best whetstone. From that day on, Tang San's attitude towards Xiaofei changed a little, and the two of them also changed from the nodding acquaintance before to occasionally communicating with each other for a few words. When Wang Xiaofei encounters some theoretical problems that he doesn't understand, he will also ask Yu Xiaojiang for advice. Although he did not become a master and apprentice, Yu Xiaojiang still answered some of Xiaofei's questions in detail. Xiaofei was quite satisfied with Yu Xiaojiang's answers and felt that Yu Xiaojiang's head was like a little treasure. Although some of the knowledge is affected by his soul power level and cannot be studied in depth, it is still of great reference value. In this way, another 2 years later, Xiaofei's soul power level rose to level 20. Xiaofei was just 8.5 years old at this time. According to the news among classmates, Tang San also reached level 20 a month ago. So after the principal helped Tang San get the spirit ring, Xiaofei also made a request to the principal, and the principal agreed. At the same time, he asked Xiaofei some of his needs. Xiaofei's main needs are 3 points, birds, fire attributes, and within 1,000 years. The principal considered it again and again and agreed. In fact, since the last time Yu Xiaojiang and the principal asked him questions, Xiaofei felt that the principal actually wanted to accept him as a disciple. It was just that Yu Xiaojiang was rejected at that time, and he was embarrassed to mention it again. And he also understood that this level 20 spirit ring was the principal's last help to him. It is estimated that with his ability, he will not be able to help Xiaofei in the future. Rashly becoming a disciple will delay Xiaofei's future growth. This time it was still the principal and director Wu, but there were no other students and teachers this time. For Xiaofei's second spirit ring, other people basically couldn't give any help, and the principal had received the news in advance and knew where the spirit ring Xiaofei needed was, so it would be better for 3 people to go. After a day of rushing in the Soul Beast Forest, the 3 finally came to a volcano. The man groped along the way and moved forward secretly, and saw a huge bird flying in the sky. This should be a flame bird, about 700 years old, which should be the most suitable soul beast for you, said the principal. After a day of observation, the 3 found that there was a small valley next to the crater, and many fire maple trees grew in the valley. This is the favorite place for the flame bird. During the day of the second day, they touched the fire maple tree and waited for the flame bird to come back and kill it with one blow. Sure enough, the flame bird flew back at night. The principal and the 5th director launched a sneak attack and finally severely damaged the flame bird. This time the principal took a closer look at the flame bird, then shook his head and said, the actual age of this flame bird should be more than 800 years, close to 900 years. If you absorb it, it will be very painful, and there is also a risk of explosion. Xiaofei thought about it carefully and said firmly, Principal, I have the confidence to absorb this soul ring. The last time it was also beyond the age limit, and my body should be able to bear it. Under Xiaofei's repeated insistence, the principal finally agreed to Xiaofei's request. At the same time, he also said, if there is really something wrong with your body, I will interrupt your absorption of the soul ring even if it means that you will have a hard time practicing in the future. Xiaofei nodded firmly, so under the gaze of the two, Xiaofei began to absorb the nearly 900-year-old flame bird soul ring. At the beginning, Xiaofei felt the same pain as the last time he absorbed the soul ring, but this time it was smoother than last time. 2 hours later, Xiaofei finally absorbed all the soul rings. At the same time, Xiaofei felt numbness in his body, just like last time, this time it was numbness in his back. Xiaofei suddenly felt confused, there would be such a good thing. Twice in a row, the principal and Director Wu glared at each other, and finally the principal said, have we witnessed history? 2 consecutive soul rings were absorbed beyond the limit. I think Xiaofei's future achievements are probably limitless. Director Wu also nodded. In fact, for a genius like Xiaofei, the school teachers and leaders helping to hunt soul rings is an investment. As long as there is one person who returns, the benefits are endless. Especially for a genius like Xiaofei who will obviously achieve great success in the future, the three of them walked around the nest of the flame bird. There were corpses of various soul beasts and even many human corpses. It was indeed a very ferocious soul beast. This time it was not a sneak attack, but it would be very difficult to deal with. Xiaofei suddenly felt a flash of light in front of him, and then said to the Dean, Dean, there seems to be something on those corpses. I saw the flash. The principal took a look and was immediately attracted. After cleaning up the corpses, the three of them obviously felt that there were 7 corpses inside, and found 3 soul guides. After opening the 3 soul guides, various clothes, books and gold soul coins were placed, and they were counted together. There were about 8,000 gold soul coins, which was a very large fortune. After some communication, the 3 of them divided the wealth, and each of them was given a storage soul guide. The one that Xiaofei got was about 50 square. Xiaofei got 2,000 gold soul coins, and the Dean and Director Wu each got 3,000. After the distribution, the Dean specifically instructed, don't tell anyone about this today. As the saying goes, wealth should not be exposed. Don't let anyone know that you have made a fortune, otherwise it will easily cause disaster. Xiaofei and Director Wu nodded in agreement. In this way, Xiaofei completed this soul ring hunting, and the 3 returned to school with satisfaction.